I want to talk to you about government contracting for beginners and what are the things you need to know this year if you are trying to really beef up your government contracting sort of game. Okay, so here's an overview I want you to really think about. So here's an overview. First of all, government contracting is a highly sought after industry, that's for sure. I mean, many government institutions forge agreements with companies to drive success and fulfill various missions for the defense, intelligence, healthcare, IT, cybersecurity, and construction domains. You have a lot of fields, okay? So with the what happens here is that you have an entire area of possibilities. With many government contracting companies being global leaders in their specific fields and having spent billions of dollars to fuel their high-profile projects, delving into the industry might seem intimidating and complicated for, let's say, smaller businesses and entrepreneurs like you and me. Okay, but I'll share with you a few hacks to really sort of bypass the initial sort of discouragement. So basically, what is government contracting for real? Like, let's go back to definition 101, if you will. So, by means of government contracting, your business and mine is actually able to sell its products or services to the government and to different federal agencies. And how does this work? Well, the government chooses businesses by awarding them with the contracts presented for bidding. So one way government contractors can snag deals is by submitting the lowest cost bids, and these bids must meet the requirements and minimal specifications of the contract, right? So government contracts come in different types depending on the niche, depending on the sector. So the most common ones when it comes to the government contracts, those are suitable for prime contractors. There are also various types of contracts for small businesses. This may vary in terms of order period, the number of orders allowed during the contract's validity, whether the contract value is amenable or not, and if the agreement will have subsequent modifications. So basically, the bottom line is that depending on the contract type, contracting activities may modify parts of the contract and make multiple orders from their chosen government contractors as they see fit. Okay, the winning enterprise is funded by the entire contract value at the time of award, or sometimes it can happen in segments. So on the bright side, the federal government has partnered with the US SBA and established contracting guidelines that level the playing field for smaller enterprises, thus enabling them to secure agreements from federal institutions. Let me give you the methodology here. So basically, how do you become a government contractor this year? The thing is that the federal government comprises countless agencies, offices, and organizations that require a specific product or service type in large quantities worth millions and billions of dollars, by the way. With that, the US government is the top spender of government contracting services, and federal government agencies seek several products, services, and solutions from businesses. So, from manufacturing armaments to developing aerospace solutions, from developing vaccines for COVID 19 back in the days to bolstering internet and network security, and even constructing new facilities and buildings. Basically, what happens here is that the government will have use for commodities offered by big and small businesses. So, if you provide any of the businesses or services that they actually need, if you plan to expand on those products or want to delve into the government contracting industries and snag distinguished deals, you want to first, and this is the first one, you want to register your small business for government contracting services. There's nothing you can do without, you can't do anything without that step. Register. So before you get contacted, you get contacted by the government and even get a contract from them, you need to register your business first. Both big and small companies must complete paperwork to ensure the legality of their transactions with various contracting entities. So this legality also establishes strict transparency about the funds they will potentially receive in every deal. Next, you want to actually register your business name. So I'm speaking here about your entity name, your trademark, your doing business as name, your DBA name. That's important, and also your domain name. So you want to register for a domain name to establish your business's online presence, also called a website, URL, or address. No one can use your domain name as long as you continue to own it. So domain names should be renewed every year, also to actually maintain ownership. In terms of your doing business name, depending on your business structure and in which state your business is operating, you might have to register with a DBA name. Next, you want to apply for your federal and state tax ID numbers. So after officially registering your business name, you want to apply for your EIN. So your EIN or federal tax ID works similarly to your social security number. So EIN is used for applying for business licenses and permits and paying taxes. Keep in mind that your EIN cannot be used for lotteries or tax lien auctions. The most convenient way to apply for your EIN is through the official IRS website. So once you have completed the form, your information will be validated, and if you receive, and you will actually receive your EIN immediately. It takes about 15 minutes. Other ways to register for your federal tax ID are via mail, fax, and telephone for international applicants who want to bring their businesses to the U.S. It's worth mentioning that the IRS online application for EIN is only available for businesses, agencies, and entities in the United States and U.S. territories, okay? So after you have received your EIN, you will need to apply for your state tax ID number. So the application process is kind of similar to getting your federal tax ID, although steps vary from state to state. And you will need to also check your state's official websites for the application requirements for your state tax ID number. Next, you want to register actually your business at Systems and Awards Management, SAM. SAM is really where it's at. It's where everything happens, okay? So register actually your business at the official Systems for Awards Management website to enter the government contracting domain. So applying at sam.gov will give you your unique your unique entity identification, your UEI, a unique 12-digit code that will serve as your enterprise identification. So previously, the Dun & Bradstreet DUNS code was necessary for businesses to be qualified for government contracting. However, the federal government concluded using the DUNS on April 4, 2023, and has fully transitioned to using SAM.gov's UEIs as the prompt identifiers for businesses wanting to be government contractors. So to actually sign up for your UEI, you'll need to select all awards as your registration purpose and input your entity type. You'll also need to provide the following information to get your UEW and your UEI. I'll put this on the screen here. So your legal business name, the physical address. A post office box may not be used as your business physical address. Date of incorporation, state of incorporation, national provider identifier for non-U.S. residents only. Taxpayer identification number, your TIN and taxpayer name, your contractor and government entity, and your financial and banking information for your electronic funds transfer. Next, you really need to know your North American Industry Classification Systems code, your NAICS code, okay? And why? Let me just explain a little earlier. So after you have received your UEI code, you can check the official NAICS website for your business's NAICS codes, and you want to check the references tab to get a list of the updated numbers assigned to different industries. The NAICS metrics are really quite essential because everything happens when it comes to government contracting, federal government contracting. Things happen by category, things happen by economic sector, things happen by niche. Okay. So NAICS numbers are used by federal statistical agencies in classifying businesses to collect, analyze, and publish statistical data relevant to the U.S. business economy. And you can have more than one NAICS code that represents your businesses and products. So that's really good in terms of flexibility. Okay. And so when it comes to NAICS, you need to confirm your business size and you need to fill out your SBA profile. Let me break it down for you. So in terms of confirming your business size, To know if your business qualifies as a small business, use the standard tools, the size standards tools by the U.S. Small Business Administration. So this is actually a free online tool that will ask for your NAICS code and your business's 5-year average of your annual revenue. Then determine if your business size is small and applicable to SBA registration guidelines. Okay. Also, you want to fill out your SBA profile. So this is a step that other contractors commonly overlook. Although it is not a necessary qualification to become a government contractor, having a compelling SBA profile actually gives the contracting officer a deeper look into your business. It really considers if your services fit their needs. So that's really powerful. So do not actually skip this step. Next, let me give you a few top hacks here in terms of government contracting for beginners. How do you find government contracting opportunities this year? So after registering for the necessary ID numbers and memberships, procurement officers can now search your small business easily. That said, it's important to proactively seek government opportunities in order to become a prime government contractor. Okay. Now, let me give you a few places you can access government contracts at and start bidding for them. So the first thing is you want to search at sam.gov. I mean, I've introduced you to sam.gov a little earlier. So when you think about sam.gov, I want you to think about one of the prime websites for federal agencies to post contracting opportunities. So while there are other places to actually find contracts out for bid, navigating the sites lets you become familiar with the biggest government agencies and the potential high-profile projects that fit your product and service lineups. So that's really good because it gives you more familiarity into how the federal government works. And you also want to become familiar with conducting searches, tinkering with the filters, saving search results, and sending notifications at sam.gov. That way you will know how to narrow down your search and find the most suitable agencies to work with. It's not about you actually trying to quote unquote corner the market. It's about you just finding that specific niche that's profitable enough for your business, okay? And you want to get into other contracting vehicles. So you may get more contracting opportunities by becoming a contract holder of the U.S. General Services Administration multiple awards schedule, let's say like the MAS, the GWAC, or the MAC, or partnership vehicles. Now, here are their distinctions. For MAS, also referred to as the scheduled program, MAS is the most common procurement method federal agencies use. What about GWACs or MACs? Similar to the scheduled program, those two give business additional contracting opportunities. What about partnership? Well, securing a partnership contract program helps small business owners improve their ability to compete for contract bids by accessing the deals, networks, and knowledge of more experienced partner contractors. You want to also search for set-aside agreements. So set-aside contracts come into two kinds, namely competitive set-aside contract and sole source set-aside contract. Let me explain. When you think about competitive set-aside contracts, unlike contracts for larger enterprises, set-aside contracts are granted to at least two small businesses that can complete the orders and work requirements of the contract. And a competitive setup is given to contracts priced below $150,000. And you also have sole source set-aside contract. So this contract type is issued without a competitive bidding process. So sole source contracts only happen when only one small business can fulfill the contract's requirements, and small businesses must be registered with sam.gov to participate in any contracting programs they qualify for and actually secure sole source agreements this year. So that's pretty powerful. Also, you want to check agency procurement forecast. So acquisition.gov's agency recurring procurement forecast is another suitable place to find contracting opportunities. So on this page, you will find a comprehensive list of federal agencies, each with a link to their procurement forecast pages, and the sites show active and upcoming contracting opportunities. And if you are looking for all sorts of deals that may suit your line of business, exploring agency procurement forecast pages gives you access to a more streamlined federal contracting opportunities. You also want to enter subcontracting. This could be a great possibility for you, by the way. So small businesses must establish a good track record as a vendor before qualifying for more significant government contracts. But businesses not primed to work with federal agencies may still work for the government through subcontracting. So complex and large-scale federal contracts usually require a subcontracting plan to ensure the contractor completes the contract satisfactorily. That's why prime government contractors seek out small businesses to be subcontractors to help them execute the work stipulated in the government contract. So that's pretty powerful. So what happens here is that through subcontracting, small businesses can gradually develop their competence and reputation to become prime vendors for the government on their own. So to actually help you find subcontracting opportunities, Small Business Administration has a dedicated free to use subcontracting database called Subnet, hosting all the contracting opportunities available in all states. Next, you want to search the U.S. Digital Registry. So the government contracting industry also has caught up with the efficiency of social media. So a handful of contracting offices have communicated with vendors and bidders through Twitter, now called X, and LinkedIn. But because social media is an ocean of posts and data, finding the right contracting opportunities may be challenging. So you may look into the U.S. Digital Registry to find if your federal customers are active on social media and the platforms they often use. So that's really powerful. Next, you want to comply with public and labor laws. So searching available contracts for bidding is not the only springboard for becoming a federal contractor. Large and small businesses have to abide by public and labor laws to be able to access prime government contracts. So the Federal Acquisition Regulation is actually the primary governing body for all federal government procurement processes. And small business owners like you and me may look for the governing government contracting regulations they need to comply with and the programs they qualify for. And so you also want to comply with cybersecurity requirements. So your small business must comply with the federal government's cybersecurity requirements to determine if they are capable, if it is capable to protect the federal government's systems and critical information about the contracting activities and terms and conditions. So every proposal request from the DoD will come with a cybersecurity maturity model certification level enforced to complete the work. Small businesses can use Project Spectrum, a platform the DoD developed to help enterprises complete the training and get the tools they need to bolster their cybersecurity measures and meet the CMMC standards. Let me give you a few benchmarking ideas before I close to this conversation. So, drafting a proposal for a potential government contract is just the start of the bidding process. But if you need to jumpstart your journey in writing successful bid proposals, let me give you a few of the things you need to do here. You want to read and reread the solicitation documents. That's really powerful. You want to align your proposal with the government's specified needs. By carefully reviewing the solicitation, you can conveniently align your proposal with the government's specific needs. And although a government contract bid templates may be available online, writing your bid around the government's particular needs and how your business can help them is actually way better, way better. And you also want to highlight how your company can deliver the best solution. So after discussing your business's expertise, you want to get down on your straightforward solutions-based approach to the government's specified needs, creatively crafting your business history and logical and action plan into an executive summary can position your company actually as a strong contender for the contract this year. So once you have penned down your bid proposal, have your document reviewed before submitting it. Doing so will help you double-check spelling mistakes, unclear messaging, and other details affecting how the government's reviewing panel will receive your proposal. In closing, in today's conversation, I spoke to you about government contracting for beginners. I gave you the overview, the methodology, the top hacks, and now the benchmarking. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.